See, you're just doing the top of my head there perfectly. Look at that, mate. Thanks.
Do we dab it or do we like stroke it?
Well, you're meant to be the makeup expert.
Yeah, have you seen my face?
Yeah. I told you.
Self-made makeup.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. I think we're on. I think it's another edition of Form Study Friday with a twist.
That's right, Monday.
It's Monday. Exactly, and it's only the most important. Are we done?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that'll do.
There's been a lot of feedback saying that my head's far too shiny, Cheska, but it's like when you're in the mounting yard looking for horses who are gleaming in the coat, showing inner health.
Yeah, look at all that inner health coming out in you. Anyway, most important Monday of the year because we are going to be dissecting the Melbourne Cup. We're going to be finding everyone at home the winner of the Cup. Jason, you tell me, my mic thing in the way. You tell me every year that you pick the winner.
Well, I have the last 2 years. I mean, we can't deny that.
Yeah, but of how many have you actually backed in the race and how many have you tipped to people? Because it's easy when you do like half the field to be like, I found the Melbourne Cup winner.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I only judge it on our 7 horse racing coverage. And 2 years ago, we came to you and said, who do you think will win the Cup? And you said, you know, Knacker Bags, and it came 15th, and I said Al Mandan, and it won at $17. Last year, we asked you the same question. You said Johannes Vermeer. And I said, and I said Rekindling, and it was $17. First across the line.
So
this year, not so confident. Do you want to go through all the runners of the Cup? Because I love your insight on all, especially the internationals that we haven't seen in Australia. Plus, also, I need you to compare with what we've seen versus the internationals. Keep giving us that form reference. For example, Rostropovich defeating horses that have raced previously, and the ones that we can get all the links in. That's what we need from you.
Okay. Right. Are we basically agreeing to discount any locally trained horses?
No, I'm not agreeing
on the top one of the locally trained horses.
You know what? I think the best roughie is Vonja Masquet. I know, and that's at $67.
Okay. And
the only reason is, finally gets into the field, third attempt, and it can go forward. And I can't see a lot of, unless Rostropovich and also Cross Counter come across, won't necessarily be mad speed. And I think
that's always a crucial element of the Cup, isn't
it? Like
who's going to settle where, who's going to get the best run in transit. Have you done your own speed map, or do you follow other people?
I have, but then once again, if one misses the kick and you throw that out the door, so like that, you throw that out the door. So anyway,
okay,
fascinating race. Do you want to start with which order would you like to go in?
Should we go in betting order, or should we go in race card order?
Okay, we'll go in race card order.
Okay.
Here's first question. Yeah. Can Best Solution carry 57.5 kilos and win a Melbourne Cup at 2 miles?
History tells you not, because top weight, only Mackay Diva's done it with 57 or more. The history in recent times of the Caulfield Cup, what was it, Ethereal, the last winner of the Caulfield Cup to win the Melbourne Cup, that's 2001.
Yep. The race has changed a lot now, hasn't it?
The race has changed, the weights have got a lot more compressed, so the spread between top weight and bottom weight is less, although you've got those 3-year-olds on 51 kilos down the bottom there. Look, I think he's a very good horse. He's a very good horse over 1.5 miles. There's a query over him at the 2 miles, and the top weight, and the Caulfield Cup form. So if we've got to narrow them down, I'm happy to kind of put him a little bit lower down.
So I've got him as a winning chance, purely and simply because Pat Cosgrave's in great form. He's drawn perfectly.
Yeah, he's drawn
he can settle close to the speed. So therefore he gives you the versatility. If there's mad speed on, I think he can get out of that. But if it's a slow speed, he could be the one camp right there, or even on speed.
Yeah, he's got the necessary turn of foot to be able to put himself there.
He'll finish in the first. I think he's a must for trifectas and first fours because he's classy. He'll put himself right in the race from that barrier. Why he didn't get a penalty is fascinating. Like, it's a handicap. So he defeated those at the same weights and meets them at the same. Like, that defeats the purpose of a handicap. But that's a whole different.
But topic. I think basically because Greg Carpenter's realised that over time, history says that it's so hard to win with the top weight. So his job is to essentially get these 24 horses crossing the line all together to give them all the best chance of winning. So he's going to say, well, if I give him a penalty, he's got no chance. But history says if I give him more than this, he's got 0 chance. And I don't think he's as good as Mackay Diva or as good as
I agree with that, especially at 2 miles. He just defeated Soundcheck 3 starts ago in Germany. Soundcheck was poor in the Caulfield Cup. The thing about the Caulfield Cup that I think the punters have to really try to line up is it was such a slow tempo. You know that the Caulfield Cup would have beaten.
Really hard to use that.
That's right.
For a lot of things, really. And then Best Solution kicked early
because he was right there on the speed.
Yeah. It It was a good ride.
They would have been beaten 100 metres by the previous year.
I know.
100
So do we
metres.
just put a line through that form?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's hard to forget a performance like Ace High. He was horrible in that. So I won't be forgetting that. But then there's horses like Young Star and those that were back. They had no hope whatsoever. So he's in my multis, and he's a winning chance for mine.
Okay,
because
the
he's
good news is
versatile.
if we spend so long on each horse, it's going to be about.
Oh, right, okay.
It's going to be about
I keep
bedtime
forgetting
by the
that you're
time
the
we
host.
finish. Okay, so you like Best Solution. That's going in Richard's top.
You've got your pajamas
something.
on
I haven't. These are my very trendy kind of silk
today. Really?
Bowie trousers. I got
pajamas.
them initially. Yeah, very trendy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so the Cliffs of Moher was a very exciting horse in Europe last year.
Was.
Placed in a derby. He was in all the right kind of
favourite
races.
for the derby, wasn't he?
He was a favourite for the derby off the back of a win at Chester. He placed there, and then essentially I feel like he hasn't really gone on to what they expected him to go on to. He's been sold, he's come down here, he's run in Australia, and Peter Moody, actually, I was at a thing with him yesterday, he put it quite well. He said this horse, they need to go and send him out to Macedon Lodge and put him over the jumps or something, because his head's not in it. He doesn't really want to win. Yeah, or Geldham.
Because I don't know, he just doesn't attack.
No, he
the
was
line,
there
does
to
he?
win last time out, and he just didn't.
Well, it's interesting because I put him flip of the coin. If we go back to Europe and go back to the Hardwick Stakes, he was beaten by Red Verdon. Red Verdon second, Cliffs of Moher third.
Moher.
Cliffs of Moher. Cliffs of Moher. Cliffs of Moher.
Cliffs of Moher.
Moher.
Yes.
Cliffs of Moher.
Yes.
Magic Circle thrashed Red Verdon. So on weights, can Cliffs of Moher give Magic Circle weight and beat him?
No.
No. So let's move to Magic Circle.
Go on. Well, everyone wants to see Magic Circle winning. Well, do they? I mean, it's dependent on whether you like to see a oldish man running around in a G-string.
Oldish man.
Oldish man?
Oh, poor Marwan Kukat. Oldish.
Well, do you want to see him running around in his G-string if he wins
You
the
know
Melbourne
what?
Cup?
Hallelujah to a Palestinian refugee that is a self-made man that's made a fortune, is spending money on racing. And he's got great personality, says, rip off my gear and I'm going to wear a G-banger and it's fantastic. You know what? Rather than, oh, it was a terrific win. Oh, it's a great thrill. Boring. Go Marwan.
Yeah, true. And I think that's actually brought this horse in a lot in the betting, isn't it? Everyone keeps hearing about Marwan Kukash and his horse Magic Circle. And it's going to be a great show if they do. And the trainer Ian Williams is quite a character as well. They're quite a good double act. Did you see on Saturday? Bruce was kind of on the podium, sandwiched between these two. He was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here.
And Ian Williams' son Harvey, Dad's promised him a drone if they win the cup.
Right.
So
okay.
little Harvey, you
Harvey
can have
and his
anything.
drone.
Yeah, I want a new drone.
Okay.
And his daughter Bella's like, I want a new outfit. So there's a lot riding on this.
There is a
cup
lot
for
riding
Magic
on
Circle.
this.
Loved his turn of foot at Chester.
Yeah.
And I loved also his win at Sandown when he showed a great acceleration. And then they put him straight out and said, no, rest for the cup.
Yeah,
It's going to be awfully hard to beat. I've got him in my top
because
two.
the thing is, we don't really know where the ceiling is with him because he was trained by a different trainer last year. Then Ian Williams bought him at the sales this time last year. Marwan wanted him to win a Chester Cup because Chester is his home track. He absolutely loves Chester. So he won that impressively. And it was kind of job done. But then they were like, hang on, this could be our Melbourne Cup horse.
Yes.
Very impressive at Sandown. We know he gets the trip. And essentially in a handicap, you want the horse that's a little bit ahead of the handicapper, but the handicapper doesn't quite know how good he is.
That's right.
Whether he is or not with 56 kilos, I'm not sure.
It's a
If he was there in
kilo
like
more than I
54, I would be like all over this horse.
Oh, he'd
like
be
a
my
rash,
best bet.
but
The century with 54.
exactly.
With the
but
century.
Of the century. Hello. So do you have him in the calculations
I've got
or
him
not
second.
with 56?
Got
Right.
him second.
He's got to
that
be in
good.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to be in there. Are we including Chestnut Coat in our international
Well, the
chat?
Japanese horses need it like this.
Yeah, but
That's
the
how
Japanese
hard the
horse
track
on
needs to be.
Saturday had it like this.
Yeah, but
and then-
he's nowhere near as good as this horse,
Okay.
please.
Right.
Soul Impact sleeps with the light on. This is a proper horse, chestnut coat, but he's going to need it firm. How much rain have we had? Had a little last night.
Gonna get more today, maybe.
I tell you
and
what.
tomorrow.
If he gets the track to suit, he will improve dramatically, but I'm still going to risk him.
Yeah, me too. I
Thank
think. Now Muntaha, He is having his first start in Australia. He hasn't run since winning the Ebor handicap, our best mile 6 handicap of the year.
And that was the best Ebor win I've ever seen.
I think it probably was the best Ebor win I've ever seen, because he was second top weight that day. He beat the top weight in a serious horse called Weekender. He's trained by
third in the Irish St Leger.
Yeah, he's trained by John Gosden, who has just had the most incredible year.
13 Group 1s, I think.
13 Group 1s. Well done. Good stats, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Including in Abel winning in America a couple of days ago. So Muntaha, what do we do with him? I think that Ebor win is impressive, but I think I'm actually going to risk this one.
Why?
Because of the nature of the Melbourne Cup. Big field, rough and tumble, stop-start tempo.
There was 20 in the Ebor.
Yeah, I know, but did you not see how he ran?
I did.
Have we not had this conversation?
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Sat wide.
That was great.
Kept away from the whole field. Stayed wide.
He can do it here.
We've had this conversation.
I know we've had this
conversation. You're all going to be like, Jim Crowley, what are you doing? Go home, mate. You just slaughtered it. Seriously. No. You'll be the first one to be like, oh, you slaughtered it.
I'm giving Jimbo, my man, who hopefully we'll catch up with today, giving him permission, mate. Keep him wide. The first straight, correct me if I'm wrong, there's not a bend in the first 1,200 metres. Don't get your eyes all cat-like and squinty.
Yeah, but then they go into a very sharp bend.
Then he can get in.
How can he get in? Everyone else will be like so jostling for position that they'll be like, no, we're not going to let you in. Stay out there.
Stay out there 3 wide.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. There might be another horse out there 3 wide. If he's 3 wide with cover, not a worry in the world. I'd rather him there than back bottled in on the inside.
Yeah, and then they drop the anchor going around the back, and he goes, oh, I don't want to slow down, I want to keep rolling, and then Jim goes, oh, okay, maybe I'll have to keep him rolling.
Just because you're
he's never ridden in a Melbourne
didn't
Cup.
Come here and win the race. Don't hate on the Ebor winners. Too soon?
Yes, mean.
Sound
right.
check. Sound check.
Well, by your theory of the Caulfield Cup being a complete forget, go back to second to best solution in Germany off level weights in a Group 1, that brings them into calculations. But there's a bit that you're taking it a lot on trust. You're taking it on trust 100%. That you can put a line through the Caulfield Cup form. You're taking it on trust that Mike Moroney's got him where he needs to have him, having not had him for very long in training. Big kind of, what price is he? He'd be huge. So, I mean, if you fancied a real roughie at a huge price, then he could be worse.
I'll double check here for you on that, because that's, you're asking me for the question. I need to know what sort of prices he is.
Come on.
Stay with me, everyone. $34.
Yeah. If you want to have your $5 on something at a big price, then he might give you.
I'd rather on his stablemate double the price. $67 a Venger Musquet.
Okay. Should we have a little head-to-head? I say Soundcheck finishes in front of Venger Masque.
How come you say Venger Masque and they tell us?
Because I have a degree in French, so I know how to pronounce things.
Once again, no one likes her. Okay, that's a bet. That is a bet.
Okay, that's a bet.
I'll give you a best Aussie wine if you win, and you'll give me something French if I win.
Okay. Actually, we might as well do every horse here. Who shot the barman?
No.
No?
God love him, though. 10 years of age.
Yeah, I know. God love him.
4th attempt.
I know.
Yeah,
Won
give him strength.
$4.5 million in prize money.
Fantastic.
You wouldn't mind owning him, would you?
That's right.
Ace high? No.
Oh, wasn't he horrible in the Caulfield Cup? Runs better at Flemington. Naturally, he's a Derby winner. Needs a dry track. He may improve.
I think we had a bit of feedback, didn't we, on Facebook or Twitter or something about our conversation
yes,
with
we
Ace
did.
High. I was rubbishing him, saying, he's no good.
Nothing. And some guy said, he's won $2.2 million. And then I went to your defence and said...
that was all in the Derby.
That's right. And then he said, well, he has won another $1 million since. So.
In what? How has he done that? Oh, the Hill Stakes.
Marmello. Yeah. Big chance. Is the 2018 version better than the 2017 version?
It's a different version because, remember this time last year he was favourite for the race off the back of a slashing run in the Caulfield Cup. They've decided to bring him here and go fresh into the Melbourne Cup, which I think is a good thing. Any rain that comes, I think will be an advantage for him. There's not a great stat on horses coming back after their second year, especially internationals, to try and win the Cup. But if there's a good tempo, if he can get into a good position, and if it becomes a test of stamina, I think he's right there. But if it's a sit and sprint thing, I'm not so sure.
Okay, so we'll just pick up the speed. We'll take it in turns. I agree with you. Winning chance, Marmello. Avilius, my only knock.
A few winning chances so far. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've got 9 that I think could possibly win, and then I'll limit it down.
Okay.
Avilius, slight query at 2 miles for mine.
Big query on all fronts with me.
Yucatan?
I'd love to see him win for James Cummings, but I'm
well,
afraid that
James.
Bart Cummings' form is not good enough.
Getting messages.
You right?
Yeah, it's fine. James
you
Brayshaw,
concentrate?
cricket commentator. I'm going to move into cricket pretty quickly.
Are you?
So you hurry it up, will you?
Okay, right. Yep, so Avilia's not for me. I know a lot of people will like the sound of him, but not for me. Yucatan, look, he could just absolutely take this race by the scruff of the neck and just run away with it. But I don't like having favourites. And when was the last favourite to win, especially such a short price favourite? I think he was flattered by that Herbert Power win. It was a good win, but he was flattered. And on European form, he doesn't have the best form in the race.
Auvrey can't win. Finch drops significantly in weight from Geelong. Is that form good enough? And he's only a young horse. I think he lightly raced. So you're saying no. Red Cardinal, no.
No.
Venge Masque, I've already said, or Venge Masque, because you have your degree in French, is best roughie for mine. Ventura Storm, new horse, gelded throat operation. He can now breathe. That helps.
Yeah, and he won the Moonee Valley Cup last time out. Is that form good enough? Not for me.
Prince of Aaron for our good
so
mate, Charlie.
Good, wasn't he? Well done, Charlie. That was so good, winning the Lexus on Saturday. And I think him and Brimham Rocks finishing first and second just backed up that Herbert Power form.
Yes.
So that's another tick
Beautiful.
for Yucatan if you like him. Look, he's got to back up in 3 days, which he's never done before.
Yes.
The European horses aren't used to doing that. He seems a very straightforward, uncomplicated horse who won't have too many issues. Barrier 20, probably not ideal
That's fine.
for
Plenty
him.
of room for Cuzzy Bro, Michael Walker.
Did you notice in the Lexus, he's a horse that settles so nicely.
Yeah, he does.
Michael Walker's able just to put his hands on his neck and just cruise along. He
rev him up
chills.
early to get him in a position, and then he just went,
Yeah, because he's a chiller. He's just like, yeah, I'll just do whatever you like. Because that's what you definitely don't want in the Melbourne Cup. You don't want a horse that's going to be like keen and fighting the jockey, expending energy when it doesn't need to.
He's a chiller. He wears his pyjamas.
Yeah,
like you.
exactly.
Wears
exactly.
his jammies. Nikita, no chance. Not as
No.
well as last year.
Not
We ran
really.
fifth. Sir Charles Road through Bendigo. Ugh.
Yeah.
Zakata ran second in the Sydney Cup with 50 and a half, has 53 in a Melbourne Cup. Can't possibly win.
No.
Run away, that Geelong Cup form's not good enough. And then we get to 3 live chances, in my opinion. Young Star, same theory. Caulfield Cup, went back, had no luck, ran the fastest sectionals. Terrific. The only slight knock on her is it all too soon for her? Track work
Distance?
during the week. I don't have any problem with the distance with her. I think she'll run a really solid 2 miles. She was so unlucky in a Queensland derby against the boys. She will run really well, but she was very fresh during the week doing... can you make a mistake and win the Melbourne Cup? You can't over-race and win a Melbourne Cup.
You know what I was looking at just quickly in the car? Craig Williams' record in the Melbourne Cup. He's ridden a lot of them. Best result, 3rd on Mount Athos.
I know, and he had the ride on Dunedin. He got suspended at Bendigo back in the day where you couldn't defer your suspension. So
And
poor old Willow missed out.
the win on
So he's only missing a Melbourne Cup for a whole Grand Slam.
Okay.
So
Be a good story for him.
I'm saying young star winning chance. You're saying
No.
cross counter huge winning chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I might try and speak to Charlie Appleby about this horse because on paper I say huge winning chance, but I went to see him at Werribee the other day, and I just he put me off him because he's like he just went around with his ears back and just looking a bit negative and a bit dull in the coat, and he still had a bandage on from where he'd cut his leg. And yeah, I know. So there's a bit of a query because he's missed work, but actually I'd be much less worried about an international horse missing work than a local horse because these horses come here rock hard fit. So the cut doesn't worry me so much. Just his kind of attitude, and when I saw him run at York last time out, he ran a great race, but he did get very sweaty before the start. So make sure you're watching Channel 7 and the Parade Ring to see whether he's behaving or not.
But Charlie gets the race. Charlie knows the right type of horse to bring here. DXB ran second to Massar in an Epsom derby, defeating Roaring Lion, who's become a star.
Where are you going?
DXB then went to Goodwood and got thrashed by this horse.
DXB basically was flattered by that run in the derby. He's not that good.
Mate, he came second in the derby.
Yeah, I know, but he's not that good.
He's not that good. He beat Roaring Lion. Facts are he beat Roaring Lion.
Roaring Lion's not a stayer. He's not a derby horse.
He thrashed... this horse thrashed
You
DXB.
love your form. Nice.
So therefore...
DXB full stop is not a very good horse, so forget that form line.
Then an old in the Voltaire Old Persian... was the Voltaire. How were you giving it?
He's not French. The Great Voltaire. Everything's French.
Great Voltigeur.
It's a great Voltigeur. Great Voltigeur.
The great Voltigeur. It'd be a huge chance in the Melbourne Cup. The Voltigeur.
You're right. The run at Goodwood was good in the Gordon Stakes. You'd love it because it was one of those kind of English 4-horse races. But he set a really good time there. A little bit of a query at the distance. He's not proven at it. He's only a young horse.
Love that. 51 kilos.
I know, that's the thing. That's
come on, Toots.
Weight
come
stops
with me.
trains, so you've got to have these two in your calculations. Cross-counter and Rostropovich. All season I kept wanting to call him Rostropovich.
Oh, why
just
don't
like, yeah, I want to.
Have you got a degree in Russian too?
No, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Rostropovich.
It annoys me how talented you are.
No, I don't have any kind of knowledge in Russian.
Right. Do you have a degree in what? What else do you have a degree in?
Spanish?
What? You went to school and just I'm going to study Spanish.
Yeah, but it's a literature degree in other languages.
So a literature degree in Spanish
and French.
Once you master English,
I just have Italian.
And then you've got Italian, of course.
Yeah.
I've got
my dad just won a Group 1 in Italy overnight.
Did he?
Last Group runner.
That is fantastic.
And his first Group 1 winner was in Rome, and his last one was in Rome.
That is
That's nice, isn't it?
number 50. No, he's going to retire on 50 Group 1s.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And it's kind of all come full circle as well.
That is
Italian
awesome.
Connection. Anyway, so Rostropovich.
I didn't mean that bit about the Ebor then, if he's watching. Okay. So Rostropovich, you know what? Here's the, once again, Rostropovich. So Yucatan's a favourite, defeated Stella Mass by 1 length.
Form lines.
Yucatan's favourite of the Melbourne Cup, defeated Stella Mass by 1 length in a 4-horse field. Stella Mass then had its next start against Rostropovich in the club stakes, Group 3 level at Leopardstown. Rostropovich defeated him by 8 lengths. Rostropovich has 51 kilos. Must be in the cup.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people have been put off by the fact that he came and ran in the Cox Plate.
He ran well.
And Peter Moody yesterday was like, oh no, it's not good enough because he didn't hit the line strongly in the Cox Plate. And I'm like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen to me.
Think about Efficient, think about Green Moon, think about their runners that ran in Cox Plates.
Yeah.
Fiorente was up on speed and punctured, and everyone goes, oh, he's not going to run 2 miles.
Yeah.
Totally different race.
Totally
Weight for age,
race.
2000.
Totally different. So
Your top 4 in order. Maybe we'll Rostropovich to win the Lexus Melbourne Cup.
Yep, at $26.
Well done.
Yeah.
No, not at $26 now.
At? What's he at?
$31.
There we go. We like value on
I've got it at 3rd.
How did we go on Saturday, by the way?
Yeah, I out-tipped you again, but we don't want to do that.
I'm not sure how you come to that conclusion.
Well, I kept tipping winners and you tipped runners-up.
Oh, like what?
Like Ranier.
I took that too.
Osborne Bulls.
I took that too.
Prince of Arran.
I got the Kennedy Mile winner.
Best of day, so did I.
Oh, did you?
Didn't I, so?
Did you?
I had runner-up, Stars of Carrum in the Derby. Would you have? Aramea, he's due to finish any minute now.
Okay, so Rostropovich, Magic Circle, Yucatan,
24, 3, 11, 23.
You?
23 cross counter to defeat 3 Magic Circle, 24 Rostropovich, ahead of 5
You're leaving Yucatan out?
Muntaha.
Don't listen to me, please.
Yucatan in 5th.
Right.
I added a 5th one.
6, 7,
Just
8. What happened to Best Solution? It was on your short list.
Yeah, it's a winning chance.
Oh, right.
But I can't put all of them in my top 4.
Right.
Can I? A winning chance goes in the quaddie.
Okay.
Cliffs of Moher even goes in the quaddie.
No, he doesn't. No.
That's how I
Anyway,
look at the great
I think we've
race.
really clarified the picture for everyone sitting at home wanting to know.
No, you know what?
We slimmed it down a bit.
We have. Well, your
But
top
you know
4
what
is
I
very
found
similar
out?
to my top 4.
You know what I've discovered though is that people ask you what your tip is, and you go, oh yeah, well I quite like Rostropovich, and they go, yeah, well my wife's aunt's brother-in-law went to Cliffs of Moher, so I'm backing that one. And
There you
like,
go.
Cool. Okay.
Thanks for asking me.
That's
fantastic. Hey, you've been really good in this Form Study Friday.
Well, you've been all right.
Okay, that's good feedback. I take all types of feedback. Enjoy your sleep in your jammies. We look forward to doing this.
One more sleep.
Do we get to do this again, or is this?
What shall we do?
I don't know.
Tara?
Yeah.
Are we done?
You know, we're done. Oh, well played.
It's been
mate.
fun.
It's been great.